Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hercules in Greek mythology. Hercules was a demigod, son of Zeus and an Alcmene. He is most noted for his incredible strength completing the famous 12 labors. There is so much to talk about this hero. Let's get into it. Who is Hercules? Heracles or Hercules in Roman mythology was the son of Zeus and an Alcmene, making him a demigod. His birth was actually a very important event that sparked a lot of other events in Greek mythology. You see, Zeus wanted to have a son with Alcmene because she was a descendant of Perseus, which made her related to the gods. Zeus had made this decree that whoever he slept with next would bear his child first, and that child would become king of the whole world. So when he went to visit Alcmene, she got pregnant with his child. However, by mere hours, Hera, who was Zeus's wife, also became pregnant with their twins, Eileithyia and Ares. Because of this, Hercules was only made king of the Myrmidons while Hera got to be the queen of the gods. This really set Hera off and she tried to kill Hercules when he was just a baby. But luckily, his father, Zeus, saved his life. When Hercules grew up, he didn't know he was demigod, but rather thought that he was just an ordinary man. The reason for this is because his adoptive parents, King Amphitryon and Queen Alcmene, kept his true parentage a secret from him. However, one day he was visited by a double-portioned Delphic oracle, who told him that he was, in fact, a demigod. This prophecy gave him both great news and bad news. It told him that he would become a great hero and become immortal, but that his life would be cut tragically short. Hercules decided that he did not want to follow this prophecy, and asked the oracle if there was anything he could do to stop it. She replied yes, but warned him that whatever he chose would come to pass. He could either rule as king over the Myrmidons, or complete 12 labors and earn immortality through his heroic deeds. Obviously, wanting to go out in a blaze of glory, he chose the second option and began his journey as a hero. So what were these labors? They were tasks given to him by King Eurystheus, who was Hercules' cousin, and the one who would become king of Tiryns after Amphitryon. When Hercules came to him and told him of his plans, Eurystheus, being a good cousin, offered to help him in any way he could. And being the self-centered person that he was, he asked Hercules to do him a favor and complete 12 labors. These were tasks that were almost impossible to complete, but Hercules felt like they would be a great way for him to test his strength and skill. Eurystheus agreed, and so the first labor began. For his first task, he was told to kill the Nemean lion. This creature was extremely strong and its hide was impenetrable to weapons. However, Hercules managed to capture it and bring it back to his home alive. He completed this task using his wits and his club. He waited until the beast fell asleep and then struck it with his club until it passed away. Then he put it on as a sort of coat and wore it throughout his adventures. Its pelt was said to be bullet and arrow-proof, and even swords would bounce off of it. For his second task, Hercules was told to kill the Lernaean Hydra. This was a many-headed water snake that grew 2 heads for every one that was chopped off. Hercules managed to defeat it by cauterizing its wounds, which caused it to stop regenerating new heads, and so he was successful in killing it. The third labor was to capture the Ceryneian hind. This was a sacred deer that was very fast and agile. But luckily for Hercules, he managed to catch it after a 3-day chase. Next, he was told to clean King Ajax's stables in a single day. Now, this may seem like an easy task, but you must remember that his stable was home to 3,600 cattle, not to mention all the horse dung and things that were inside. With the help of the god of the river Alpheus, he was able to make the river flow through the stable and wash everything away, making it clean enough to use again. His fifth labor was to capture the Erymanthian boar. This was a huge pig that was living in the mountains and was very aggressive. He managed to catch it by luring it into a cave with some fruit. He then proceeded to tie it up and take it back to Eurystheus. The sixth labor was to slay the Stymphalian birds. These birds lived in a marsh and were very dangerous. Their feathers were said to be able to cut through armor, and their beaks and claws were sharp enough to kill someone. Hercules managed to scare them out of the marsh and then shot them down with his bow and arrows. The seventh labor was to capture the Cretan bull. Now, this may seem familiar, because this was the same bull that would eventually be slain by Theseus in his adventure to the labyrinth. But Hercules managed to capture it and bring it back to Greece without too much trouble. The eighth labor was to steal the mares of Diomedes. Now, these horses were said to be unstoppable and would feed on human flesh. Hercules managed to control them and bring them back by feeding them to King Diomedes. That way, they ate him instead of anyone else. The ninth labor was to obtain the girdle of Hippolyta. Now she was a warrior queen who had a very special belt that was said to give her great powers. Unfortunately, Hercules ended up accidentally killing her when he went to retrieve it, and so he had to finish the other 3 labors before he could return it. The 10th labor was to obtain the cattle of the monster Geryon. This guy lived on an island and had 3 heads and 3 bodies. Hercules managed to slay him and steal his cattle, and the 11th labor was to gather the golden apples of the Hesperides. These were special apples that were said to grant immortality. Hercules managed to get them by stealing them from the garden where they were grown. The last labor was to capture and bring back Cerberus. This was a 3-headed dog that guarded the entrance to the underworld. Hercules managed to do this by wrestling with the beast and bringing it back to the surface. Now, after completing all 12 labors, Hercules was finally given his reward. Eurystheus had promised him anything he wanted, and he asked for the throne of Mycenae. Now, unfortunately, Eurystheus refused and said that he earned the throne through his own merit. Hercules was angry at this and took revenge by killing Eurystheus and his followers. After this, he went to live with his half-brother, Iolaus, and together they went on many more adventures. So what happened to him after this? Well, one day he was training and accidentally killed Iolaus. To atone for this, he went to the oracle and asked what he should do. She told him to go to the center of the earth and pull a chariot driven by 4 immortal horses. He did this and was rewarded with immortality. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. Also, if you haven't already, then consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.